Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday, June 21st, 2023 meeting of the Lake Havasu City Planning and Zoning Commission. If you'd please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Jim Harris.
Here.
Matthew Mitchell. Gabrielle Medley. Here. David Diaz.
Here.
Susanna Ballard. Here. Joan Desiro.
Here.
Dane Hatch. Paul Lair.
Here.
Tiffany Wilson.
Here.
Lonnie Stevenson.
Here. Okay. Correspondence and announcements. Mr. Morris.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. Thank you, all the commissioners who attended the workshop in Kingman last Monday. I think it was educational. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, for those who didn't, it was a workshop about general planning and zoning and board of adjustment. There was a consultant or a person from the Mesa area who the county hosted this workshop, and they invited planning and zoning commission members and Board of Adjustment members from the different jurisdictions in Mojave County. So thank you for attending, those who did, and those who didn't, it was pretty fun. We had a good time. The other thing is we have at the June 13th City Council meeting, they approved the Victoria Farms manufactured home general plan and PD rezone, but they did table the PD rezone for the 30 acres. That was also a different item that was on Victoria Farms Road to allow those owners to deal with the code enforcement issues that are going on with the property. So that one was not denied or approved, it was tabled. So you may see that coming back later. That concludes staff's announcements. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the minutes of the last meeting. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections by members of the commission? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Commissioner?
Mr. Diaz.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the last P&Z meeting.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Diaz, a second by Ms. Ballard to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and place our votes.
Motion passes 7-0.
All right. Okay, moving on. This is a public hearing and there is a structured order to this proceeding. The city staff will present each item. There will be time for the commission to ask questions of the staff, and then the applicant will have the opportunity to present their case to the commission. That being done, we will then open the proceeding to the public for their questions and input. I would ask that anyone of the public that wishes to speak limit their trips to the podium and microphone to one only, keep all comments to less than 3 minutes, and to stay on point and not discuss subject matter that is not pertinent to the decision being considered here today. After public testimony is taken, I will then close the public hearing and bring the motion back to the table for the city staff's recommendation, discussion amongst the commission, and eventually a motion to approve or disapprove. The first item on today's agenda is ID 23-3833, a request for a major conditional use permit for 3430 McCulloch Boulevard North, Building B, Tract 122, Block 1, Lots 13 through 15, to allow a child care center in the residential limited multifamily R3 district. Mr. Kearns, your presentation.
Thank you, Chairman. The 1.56 acre subject property is located in the eastern area of the city on the south side of McCulloch Boulevard North between Daytona Avenue and Jamaica Boulevard South. The adjacent properties are developed with single-family homes or vacant lots. The subject property is zoned residential limited multifamily district. The surrounding properties are zoned residential two-family and residential single-family. The applicant's letter of intent requests to allow a child care center on the property. Their letter states that they have operated a small in-home child care since 2020 and are now ready to expand by renting a building at Restoration Hope Church. The The applicant will be renting Building B from Restoration Hope Church. They will be adding a fire alarm pull system and an enclosed play yard. A child care center is allowed in the residential limited multifamily district with an approved conditional use permit. The conditional use permit is required since the applicant intends to have more than 10 children attend their child care center. There were no objections received from any other reviewing agencies or departments, but we did receive the following conditions. 1, the child care center will meet all fire department requirements. 2, the change of use will require all building permits and requirements to be approved prior to occupancy. 3, all licensing and permits associated with the child care center will be required prior to opening. This concludes staff's presentation, and the applicant is also in the audience.
Any questions of staff by commissioners? I have one. Is the church going to be in operation as well on the property?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So this is going to be like ancillary to the
Yes.
to the church. All right. Any other questions of staff? Okay. Is the applicant present? Would you like to make a presentation? Not necessary, but if you'd like to. Please come forward, state your name for the record.
My name is Wendy Parker, and this is my daughter and business partner, Alexandra Hansen. And so we just are very excited about
Please pull the microphone over close to your mouth.
Okay,
there.
I'm sorry. We're just very excited about the opportunity to Havasu City. I have a small family child care center in my home now, but there's a real need here for child care, and I have a wait list, and we just really are excited about the possibility of opening this up.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the applicant? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. All right, this is a public hearing, and I'll open it up to the public. If there's anybody that wishes to speak on this item, anybody at all, pro or con? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing portion and bring it back to the table for staff's recommendations.
Based on the findings, the Development Review Committee recommends approval of Land Use Action 233833 for a major conditional use permit for 3430 McCulloch Boulevard, Tract 122, Block 1, Lots 13 through 15, to allow a child care center in the residential limited multifamily district with the following conditions. 1, child care center will meet all fire department requirements. 2, the change of use will require all permits and requirements to be approved prior to occupancy. 3, all licensing and permits associated with a child care facility will be required prior to opening.
Okay, we are at the table for discussion and or a motion, commissioners. Ms. Ballard.
I'd like to make a motion. Yeah, I'm sorry,
It's okay.
I don't have any strength in my hand. I'd like to make a motion that under ID 23-3833, which is a request for a major conditional use permit for 3430 McCulloch Boulevard North, Building B, Track 122, Block 1, Lots 13 through 15, to allow a child care center in the residential limited multifamily R3 district. We make a recommendation to council to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Mr. Diaz?
Just one clarification. Do we need to add with staff's staff's 3 requirements? Did she mention that?
Did you include staff's requirements? I don't remember.
Amend my motion to include staff requirements for a conditional use permit.
Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may interrupt, just
Mr.
for
Morris.
point of order, this is the Planning and Zoning Commission will approve this. It does not need to go on to the city council. So just make that clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have a motion on the table. Do we have a second? Anybody? Ms. Zero.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Ballard, a second by Ms. Zero to approve ID number 23-3833 with staff's recommendations. Any further discussion on the motion? All right, let's call for the question.
Motion passes 7-0.
Congratulations and good luck. All right, this next item on today's agenda is ID 23-3834. This is a request for a plan development rezone for 2070 Kiowa Boulevard North, Track 2307, Block 4, Lots 2 through 4, from General Commercial C2 to General Commercial Planned Development C2 PD to allow storage units. Mr. Kearns, your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The subject property measures 1.83 acres and is currently vacant. It is located on Kiowa Boulevard between Runabout Drive and Amapola Drive. The subject property is zoned General Commercial District. The properties to the east and south are zoned Residential Limited Multifamily District and developed for multifamily housing and a church. The adjacent properties to the north and west are zoned General Commercial District and are vacant or developed for outdoor storage. The property to the west, across McCulloch Boulevard North, is zoned light industrial and is developed for multiple Lake Havasu City uses. The applicant's letter of intent asks to rezone the property to allow storage rental units for RVs, boats, and similar items. In November 2021, the City Council amended the permitted uses table to eliminate storage units as an allowed use in the C2 zoning district. The City Council expressed concerns regarding prime commercial properties used for storage unit developments and stated that the north and south entrances of the city should be protected. However, it was also mentioned that an applicant could still request the storage unit use through the plan development rezone process. Therefore, the applicant makes this request. The development plan shows a storage facility with a total of 56 storage units and 2 man cave units. It shows 2 30-foot wide driveways accessing the property from Kiowa Avenue North, an ADA and 1 standard parking space is meeting the development standards. The proposed landscaping shows an adequate number of trees, shrubs, and decorative ground cover. The building permits and design review for compliance with the development code will be required, and any necessary modifications to the plan will need to be made prior to development of the property. This concludes staff's presentation, and the applicant is also available.
Okay, are there any questions of staff by commissioners? Ms. Zuro.
What do they mean by man cave unit?
Maybe the applicant could better answer that.
Okay. Any other questions of staff? Okay, is the applicant present? Would you like to make a presentation, please?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Hi there, my name is Ivan Betancourt from Selbrig Associates.
Would you bring the microphone closer to your mouth, please?
My name is Ivan Betancourt from Selbrig Associates. Thank you, Trevor, for the presentation. Regarding the question of man caves, that would be, in summary, a storage unit where they'd be allowed to, say, build out a restroom, or really that's what we've seen for the most part is, just addition of a restroom, maybe some cabinetry with a sink. Yeah, that's it for the most part.
A garage with amenities, basically.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on this item, anybody at all, pro or con, now's the time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing portion of this item and bring it back to the table for staff's recommendations.
Based on the findings, the Development Review Committee recommends the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council for land use action number 23-3834 for a plan development rezone for 2070 Kiowa Boulevard North, Track 2307, Block 4, Lot 2, 3, and 4, from General Commercial C2 to General Commercial Plan Development C2 PD to allow storage units as shown on the attached development plan with the following conditions. 1, Building permits and design review for compliance with the development code will be required prior to development of the property. This item is scheduled to be heard by the City Council at its July 25th, 2023 meeting. This concludes staff's conditions.
Okay, we are at the table for discussion and/or a motion on this item.
Quick question.
Mr. Diaz.
But was there a neighborhood meeting held with the residents around the radius?
Yes, there was a neighborhood meeting.
Any feedback?
A handful of residents showed up. I think the main takeaway was that they were more concerned about it being outdoor storage. They didn't have any issues with indoor storage.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, we're at the table for discussion and/or a motion. Anybody? Mr. Lear.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. I move to recommend the City Council approve land use action number 23-3834 for a planned development rezone for 2070 Kiowa Boulevard North, Track 2307, Block 4, Lot 2, 3, and 4, from general commercial to general commercial plan development to allow storage units as shown on the attached development plan with the following condition. 1, building permits and design review for compliance with the development code will be required prior to development of the property.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Lear, a second by Ms. Ballard to approve land use action number 23-3834 with staff's recommendations. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's call for the question.
Motion passes 5-2.
All right, congratulations. Good luck. All right, at this point in the meeting, this is the call to the public where anybody can address the commission on any issue, any item. We may not respond, but if there's anybody in the public that wishes to address the commission, now's the time to do so. Seeing none, I'll go ahead and close the call to the public. Future meetings, Mr. Morris.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. The July 5th meeting is canceled, so you can take a long 4th of July.
July
Independence Day.
5th or 15th?
July 5th.
5th, okay.
The next meeting is scheduled for July 19th.
Okay. Nothing else? Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.